Then people always have to fall back on books. With the smartphones now, students can get a lot of materials and all that, and they read. But I can tell you that people who are doing serious research, they come back to us for books. You are doing research, you have to do your references, your bibliography. You have to show evidence, materials you have read, both online and offline. You are doing your doctorate program, master's program, to whatever level. At the level we are now, we believe that we've added value to education, to training, and to teaching. Our next phase now, we're trying to see how we can give back to the society through our interface with like-minded NGOs. We have started our book cafe, all-range book cafe, where we invite people. It's a private library to come and read and study in a relaxed atmosphere, where you can come in and do your book reviews. If you're a writer, you come in and do your book reviews, review your textbooks. Going forward too, we also have our NGO, which we are working on, that borders on environmental management. We call it the Campaign for Sustainable Environment. This is a program we have been running the last 5 years. We are talking about global warming and climate change. We do environmental education.
Human achievements, goal setting, hard work, and dedication have been proven to be some of the elements towards success. The journey of remarkable individuals with lasting impact on the world are often filled with manifold stories, but through determination, they build their lives and make extraordinary contributions. Join me on the story of a trailblazer in business and philanthropy, Aiboje Ig Mokwede, a lawyer turned banker who has done well for himself, made an indelible mark within the banking sector, and has continued in his ambition of touching lives within Nigeria and across Africa. Aiboje Ig Mokwede. Within the Nigerian business space and philanthropy, few names resonate and are respected profoundly. Such is Aiboje Ig Mokwede. If you're just watching, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great documentaries. Like, share, and comment. Known as a successful business mogul, banker, investor, and a philanthropist who cares about making difference, Ig Mokwede's story is one of hard work, creativity, and a desire to drive positive change across Africa. Born to civil service parents on September 24, 1966 in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, he hails from Sabongida Ora, Edo State. Aiboje spent his formative years with his parents in Lagos, where he had his primary education at St. Saviour's School. He enrolled into Federal Government College, Kaduna, and at age 16, he was admitted to study law at the University of Benin, where he graduated at a young age of 19 with a law degree, displaying early signs of his exceptional intellect and drive. Called to the Nigerian bar in 1987, he started his career in 1988 as a lawyer at Continental Merchant Bank during his National Youth Service Corps NYSC year. In 1991, he joined Guaranty Trust Bank PLC GT Bank, where he rose to prominence as an executive director. His big moment came in 2002 when he led the acquisition of Access Bank, turning it from a small regional bank into a big player, a banking powerhouse in the industry. Throughout his career, Ike Mokwede has taken on different leadership roles, including Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank until December 2013. He later became President of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and retired in 2017, but remains on the National Council. Bowing out of Access Bank, he was given a befitting send-off.
No man or combination of men could transform what we met in Access Bank in 2002 into what would cause this type of people to come and celebrate today in office.
His foresight and managerial acumen have brought him chairmanship and directorial roles in prominent organizations such as African Finance Corporation, Associated Discount House Limited, Petrolon Energy, among others, thereby contributing greatly to their growth and sustainability. Hard work, they say, pays. Igboje Ige Mokwede's hard work earned him many awards and honors. He received the National Productivity Order of Merit Award in 2009, conferred with Commander of the Order of the Niger CON in 2011 by the then President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, during his administration for contributing to banking and finance. As a visionary leader, he was installed into the E&Y World Entrepreneurs Hall of Fame in 2011 as the EY West Africa Entrepreneur of the Year and named African Banker of the Year in 2013. These amounting to how much others values his leadership and ideas. He got honored by Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria. Beside his work, Ige Mokwede also gives back to society. This philanthropist is involved in efforts to improve governance and healthcare across Africa through his Ige Mokwede Foundation, making a positive impact on people's lives. He initiated the Adopt a Healthcare Facility program in 2019, and he is the chairman of ABC Health and director of the Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria. He is the founder of chairman of Coronation Capital Limited since 2015 and has contributed to the growth of the Coronation ecosystem. Coronation Capital Limited, with other arms of its businesses, also bettered Coronation Art Gallery in Lagos on the 13th of May 2022, a platform for showcasing exceptional works of art that embodied the essence of cultural significance and artistic expression. Igboje Ige Mokwede founded Coronation Art Gallery with the vision of democratizing art foster appreciation and understanding for the artistic world and making it accessible to a wider audience.
Bumi Augusto is, I knew Bumi when she was born. I know her parents, and I know all her siblings. She's a beautiful, wonderful, gifted Nigerian artist, and just like many of the others here. The piece behind me is a triptych, long throats, all up to longer throats. I actually thought that I was going to caption this collection. You know, this is really a microcosm of my entire collection, but I was going to capture it longer throats because this represents a lot of this collecting I did during COVID. Many of these pieces actually were not in Nigeria. I brought them home. I'll tell you something. I'm known for collecting masters, you know, the Enwonwus and the Yusuf Grillos and so on. I still do, okay? And I kind of stuck to that genre of classic. Those are the people who, when I was growing up, as I told you, those are the people who were my parents, either just older than them or contemporaries. So I grew up knowing these artists as my uncles, okay? So my first collecting was, you know, from works, you know, done by masters like that. After a while, you know, these works are really priced in. But Bumi Augusto, you know, her works, you know, which may appear even a bit pricey now, in 10 years' time, you know. So this is also hosted by Coronation, which are companies that are all about wealth creation. So there's also the investment angle. I don't collect for investments, but, you know, with all that these great Nigerian and African artists, the young ones, have been doing, and the way their prices have been rising, you know, I've got to focus on investments now.
He collaborated with the Nigerian Civil Service to digitalize
Very good afternoon to you and welcome to the World News. We are reaching you live from our studios at Sook News TV. I'm Oyinpriye Krumale. Let's begin with today's top stories. President Bola Tinubu says stabilizing power is crucial to advancing Nigeria's industrial growth. Partners Siemens to add 4,000 megawatts to boost electricity supply. And the National Agency for Food Administration, Drug and Control alerts Nigerians regarding Betaclox ampicillin 250 milligram and cloxacillin 250 milligram, calls it a falsified pharmaceutical product. And tensions escalate between the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko's rejection of suggested debt restructuring plans. The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announces new measures to reverse policy on parents from claiming benefits for more than 2 children. And in the world of sports, Super Eagles star Alex Iwobi responds to backlash over viral video that sparked criticism of the team's accommodation ahead of their World Cup qualifier against Gabon in Morocco. Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the news. Now, President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the successful implementation of the Presidential Power Initiative in collaboration with Siemens Energy aimed at boosting Nigeria's electricity supply. Speaking during a meeting on Monday with Siemens executives at the State House on the Federal Capital Territory, President Tinubu emphasized that stabilizing power is crucial to advancing industrial growth and improving key sectors like education and healthcare. He assured a delegation led by Siemens Middle East and Africa Managing Director Dietmar Sies-Dofer of Nigeria's full support. According to a statement by a presidential aide, Bayo Onanuga, the federal government is pushing to generate an additional 4,000 megawatts of electricity under the initiative. The PPI, first launched in 2018, is designed to modernize Nigeria's grid infrastructure and reduce power outages. Tinubu stressed the electricity remains a national priority for economic revival and citizens' welfare. Now, the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Dr. Abubakar Dansoho, has called on maritime operators and regulators in West and Central Africa to prioritize the development of the blue economy. He said this would create jobs, enhance economic resilience, and lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty and Central Africa. Dansoho made the call during the closing ceremony of the 45th Annual Council of Port Management Association of West and Central Africa held in Point Nor in Congo. He stressed that the maritime sector holds vast untapped potential that can drive inclusive growth across the African coastal nations. He also added that resolutions from the week-long meeting would guide policy formulation and implementation, helping member governments to manage their economies more efficiently. Dansoho expressed confidence that the outcomes would support financial stability and deepen regional cooperation in maritime governance. Now, electricity distribution companies DISCOs across Nigeria installed 70,888 new meters in August 2025, according to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. The figures were disclosed in NERC's latest metering fact sheet covering July and August 2025. The report showed marginal progress in closing Nigeria's long-standing metering gap, with the number of active electricity consumers rising to 11.98 million in August, up from 11.89 million recorded in July. Despite ongoing challenges, the increase signals steady growth in customer coverage across the Nigerian electricity supply industry, while NERC reiterated its commitment to improving transparency in the power sector through regular data reporting. The pace of metering remains below expectations under the National Mass Metering Program. Stakeholders believed sustained efforts by DISCOs and regulatory oversight could accelerate access, reduce estimated billing, and strengthen customer trust in the electricity supply chain, according to reports. Now, Nigeria's maritime exports surged by 12% in the first half of 2025, climbing from 38.27 trillion naira in 2024 to 42.87 trillion naira, according to figures from the National Bureau of Statistics. This growth was fueled by naira depreciation, foreign exchange reforms, and increased export volumes, particularly crude and refined products from Dangote Petroleum Refinery. Maritime transport remained the dominant export mode, significantly outperforming air, road, and pipeline alternatives. In the first quarter of 2025, exports via sea were valued at 20.36 trillion naira, rising further to 22.51 trillion naira in the second quarter. Comparatively, the first quarter and the second quarter of 2024 saw 19.02 trillion naira and 19.25 trillion naira in maritime exports, respectively. Analysts said the positive trend reflects government policy measures aimed at enhancing non-oil exports and improving foreign inflows. They also credit improved port logistics and private sector investment in refining capacity as key drivers of the improved maritime export performance. Now, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has unveiled a sweeping reform initiative dubbed Operation Air Clean to eliminate touting, begging, and corruption at the major Nigerian airports. This move follows Senator Osita Izinaso's public criticism of the worsening harassment faced by travelers, which he labeled a national embarrassment. In response, the authority released a position document signed by Aviation Minister Festus Keyamo outlining immediate actions to restore order and enhance transparency. The reforms were finalized after an emergency meeting with FAN, Managing Director Olubumi Kuku, and key airport agencies. The initiative will first focus on Murtala Mohammed International Airport and General Aviation Terminal in Lagos, aiming to boost passenger experience and stamp out misconduct through stricter enforcement, surveillance, and interagency collaboration. Now, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has issued a public alert regarding a falsified pharmaceutical product, Betaclox ampicillin 250 milligram, discovered in Nigeria's drug supply chain. According to NAFDAC, the product carried fake registration details and is believed to have originated from an unverified source. The substandard and falsified antibiotic was first traced to Dangambori market in Maiduguri, Borno State, and procured by a distributor based in Kano. The agency warned that the circulation of such product poses significant public health risks, including treatment failure and increased resistance to antibiotics. NAFDAC has begun a further investigation and enforcement actions to remove the product from circulation and prevent future breaches in pharmaceutical safety. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has announced plans to kick off the 2025 oil licensing round in December 1st, 2025, as part of efforts to raise the country's crude oil output. This move aligns with President Bola Tinubu's broader economic goal of transforming Nigeria into a $1 trillion economy. The Commission's Chief Executive Officer, Engineer Gbenga Komolafe, disclosed the development on Monday during the Project 1 Million Barrels of Oil Per Day investment forum led and held in London. He confirmed that the licensing process had received ministerial approval in line with the Petroleum Industry Act. The announcement comes shortly after the President reviewed plans to restructure asset ownership in the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. This is expected to address Nigeria's persistent underperformance in crude oil production and attract foreign investment into the upstream sector, enhancing energy security and government revenues. Now, still to come in the news. Ethiopia wins bid to host COP32 in 2027, a decision that marks a significant win for Africa as COP summits rotate among global regions. I'll bring you that story and more in a moment. To stay with us.
My name is Shino Ogbadegeshin. I'm the CEO of Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch Souk News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching Souk News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch Souk News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching Souk News, okay? Stay updated with Souk News.
My name is Aton Kene. I am the head of MSME Banking. Please keep watching Souk News and stay glued to Souk News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch Souk News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching Souk News.
It begins with the ordinary. A shopper walks into a supermarket, picks a product from the shelf, marked 2,000 naira, and gets to the counter only to be told it costs 2,400 naira. To most Nigerians, it's just another frustrating moment at the checkout. But to the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, it's a violation, one that captures the complex realities of consumer rights and fair competition in Nigeria's fast-moving consumer goods sector. Between March and August 2025, the FCCPC recorded 1,543 consumer complaints within the FMCG sector, the second highest across all industries during that period. The complaints range from deceptive marketing and product defects to poor disclosure of terms and delayed complaint resolution. The FMCG industry, known for its quick turnover and intense price sensitivity, remains one of Nigeria's most competitive sectors. Yet, beneath its vibrancy lies a network of compliance hurdles and market pressure points. Bayo Olaoye notes in this special report that the FCCPC continues to face tough challenges in maintaining balance between regulation and market realities. He explains that some trade associations allegedly adopt restrictive practices such as uniform pricing, high membership fees, and entry barriers, which can cause. The FCCPC sealed a supermarket in Abuja in February 2024 after discovering discrepancies between displayed prices and checkout charges, a clear case of deceptive pricing. According to Olaoye's analysis, Nigeria's Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act (FCCPA) 2018 provides the strongest legal foundation for consumer rights protection in the country. The Act guarantees the right to safety, requiring that all goods and services sold to the public be safe for ordinary use. Unsafe products must be withdrawn immediately once identified. It also guarantees the right to information, ensuring that consumers receive accurate details about price, composition, quantity, and use conditions before purchase. Where goods turn out defective, the consumer is entitled to repair, replacement, or refund. Sections of the FCCPA further prohibit false representation, bait advertising, and exaggerated claims, with sanctions reaching up to 10% of a company's annual turnover. Olaoye points out that state agencies such as LASCOPA complement FCCPC's efforts, helping consumers access information, redress, and awareness of their rights. Despite these laws, FMCG companies operate under immense economic strain. Rising inflation, forex shortages, and unpredictable input costs have made compliance increasingly difficult. Several multinationals have either scaled down or exited the Nigerian market, citing high operating costs and regulatory pressures. Still, as Olaoye observes, consumer protection and fair competition remain non-negotiable principles for any healthy economy. In 2023, the FCCPC fined a multinational FMCG company $110 million for abusing market dominance and stifling competition. Olaoye highlights the case as a major signal of the Commission's resolve to hold both local and foreign players accountable. Olaoye argues that compliance should not be viewed merely as a legal requirement, but a strategic business investment that strengthens consumers' trust and market credibility. He recommends that FMCG firms integrate compliance clauses into contracts, conduct regular audits, and maintain transparent pricing practices. Predatory or collusive pricing, he warns, can damage reputation and attract severe sanctions. The way forward. For Nigeria's FMCG sector, the path forward lies in collaboration, transparency, and innovation. Olaoye concludes that legal practitioners and compliance officers must continue to bridge the gap between policy and practice through staff training, regulatory monitoring, and transparent communication. I'm Moyosore Adibi, Sook News TV.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the news. Now, tensions have escalated between the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and Senegal following Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko's rejection of suggested debt restructuring plans. On Tuesday, the IMF confirmed ongoing discussions with Senegal to tackle what it described as the country's significant debt vulnerabilities. However, the fund did not confirm whether debt restructuring was a formal proposal on the table. Sonko publicly accused IMF officials of pressurizing the government into accepting a restructuring of its sovereign debt, a move he strongly opposed. He insisted that Senegal would manage its liabilities without compromising its fiscal sovereignty. The statement triggered a sharp sell-off in Senegal's international bonds, reflecting investor concern over potential fiscal instability. The disagreement highlights growing tensions between global lenders and African economies navigating post-pandemic debt challenges as Senegal looks to balance domestic priorities with international expectations. Analysts warn that the dispute could affect the country's future access to capital markets. Now, Ethiopia is set to host the COP32 Climate Summit in 2027, according to COP30 President Andre Correa do Lago. Participating countries at the ongoing COP30 in Brazil agreed in principle to hold the event in Addis Ababa, with formal confirmation expected on Tuesday. Ethiopia launched its bid in September, competing with Nigeria, but the Bureau of African Countries unanimously endorsed Addis Ababa as the host city. The decision marks a significant win for Africa as COP summits rotate among global regions. While Belém, Brazil, hosts this year's summit, the 2026 conference, COP31, remains undecided between Turkey and Australia. Australia has partnered with the Pacific Islands in its bid, highlighting their shared vulnerability to climate change. Correa do Lago urged the Western Europe and others group in charge to settle the COP30 dispute soon. If no agreement is reached, the COP 2026 conference may default to Bonn, Germany, where the United Nations Climate Agency is headquartered. Now, South Africa's official unemployment rate declined marginally to 31.9% in the third quarter of 2025, down from 33.2% recorded in the second quarter, according to data released by Statistics South Africa on Tuesday. The drop reflects a modest improvement in the country's labor market amid ongoing economic pressures. The total number of unemployed persons fell to 8,007 million between July and September, compared to 8.367 million in the preceding quarter. This signals growing job opportunities across some sectors, though analysts warn that structural issues remain. Despite the dip, South Africa retains one of the highest unemployed rates globally. Economic experts argue that sustained reforms, increased investment, and skills development are vital to achieving more meaningful and long-term reductions in joblessness across the country. Now, the United Arab Emirates is on track to finalize a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with Chad by year-end, according to the Gulf states, the trade minister. The bilateral deal is part of the UAE's broader push to expand global trade links and diversify its economy away from fossil fuel dependence. The KEPA framework encompasses trade investment and cooperation and is central to the UAE's strategy for sustainable long-term growth. Officials from both countries have expressed optimism about concluding the agreement swiftly, citing shared economic interests and complementary sectors. This potential pact follows a series of similar deals the UAE has signed with countries across Africa and Asia. Analysts view the move as a strategic step to strengthen the UAE's economic footprint in the Central Africa, while offering Chad increased foreign investment, infrastructure development, and improved access to international market. Now, China has expressed a readiness to resume exchanges and expand cooperation with Canada across multiple areas, according to Foreign Minister Wang Yi. The offer was made during talks with his Canadian counterpart, as reported by state-run Xinhua on Tuesday. While specific sectors were not mentioned, Wang Yi emphasized that both countries' diplomatic and commercial arms should work together to improve communication and resolve mutual concerns constructively. This move signals a potential thaw in relations that have been strained in recent years by geopolitical tensions and trade disputes. Analysts suggest any renewed collaboration will likely focus on trade, climate, and technology, though trust building will remain key. Now, South Korea's state-run think tank announced on Tuesday that there is no urgent need for interest rate cuts, citing improved economic indicators and an upward revision of the country's 2026 growth forecast. The assessment comes amid a global debate on monetary easing, but Korean authorities are choosing to remain cautious. This position echoes sentiments from the Bank of Korea, whose latest board meeting minutes revealed most members were reluctant to ease policy further. The central bank opted to keep rates unchanged, highlighting concerns about inflation and the risks of premature loosening of monetary concerns. Analysts suggest that while global trends lean toward a rate reduction, South Korea's steady economic performance supports a more restrained approach. Officials are prioritizing economic stability, watching global financial movements closely, and preparing to act if conditions shift dramatically. For now, policy remains steady to support sustainable growth without fueling inflation. Now, still in Asia, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has triggered a diplomatic rift with China after suggesting that Tokyo could respond militarily to potential Chinese attack on Taiwan. Her remarks marked a significant departure from Japan's traditional cautious and ambiguous position on the sensitive Taiwan issue. Historically, Japanese leaders have avoided explicitly referring Taiwan in potential conflict scenarios, aligning with the strategic ambiguity preferred by key ally, the United States. Takaichi's comments now signal a more assertive tone in Tokyo's regional security posture amid growing tensions in East Asia. China swiftly condemned the remarks, calling them provocative and warning Japan against interfering in what they consider a domestic matter. The development may strain diplomatic relations and complicate regional dynamics, especially as Beijing continues to assert its claim over Taiwan. Analysts believe Tokyo's stance reflects its deepening concern over regional stability and the future of Indo-Pacific order. Now, still to come on the news, Brazil's central bank unveils a new regulation to strengthen virtual assets, including cryptocurrencies. And that will be after this break. Do join us again.
Trafalgar Square, established in 1844, is a symbol of British naval history and a popular cultural spot in London. Named after the 1805 Battle of Trafalgar, it has been the site of celebrations, protests, and cultural events, representing the changing identity of the city. It houses several landmarks, like the Nelson Column, St. Martin in the Fields Church, and the National Gallery.
The Nelson's Column, a tribute to a naval hero, is the main feature of Trafalgar Square. Standing 52 meters tall, completed in 1843, it honors Admiral Horatio Nelson's victory at Trafalgar. The column is topped with a statue of Nelson, and 4 bronze panels at its base show scenes from his battles. Surrounding it are 4 large bronze lions added in 1867, symbolizing British power.
Iconic part of British culture, not just in its look, but this is very much the sort of centre of London. You know, whenever there's a celebration, a protest, it's a public space that's very important for a lot of not just people that live in London, but for the UK. You know, it's a place where people would congregate. You know, I remember being here all around the 25 Olympics, but it was very much one of the centerpieces of British culture. Yeah, no, you used to be able to climb on the lions when I was younger, but you can't do anymore. So there you go. That's progress for you.
St. Martin's-in-the-Fields Church, reputed as an architectural gem, was built between 1722 and 1726. It is known for its neoclassical design by architect James Gibbs and is famous for its portico and steeple and has influenced architecture worldwide. The church also a rich musical history, hosting concerts and helping the homeless.
Yeah, I actually came to London just on a little day trip, and then I remembered that this church sometimes has classical music on, so I just popped in, and there's no concert, but there were some people practicing. So there's a quartet of violins, and they made some lovely, sort of practice for some classical concerts. So I really enjoyed just sitting there for 10 minutes, listening to it. It's lovely, it's a really nice church, and it's nice that people don't use it much time. So maybe we should have a nice coffee as well.
The National Gallery, founded in 1824, is a treasure trove of art. Located on the north side of Trafalgar Square, it houses over 2,300 artworks from the 13th to 20th century, with free public access to masterpieces from major European artists.
I'm not really sure. I haven't been through the museum yet, but I'm here for a Christian heritage tour to kind of learn more about the history of the Protestant Reformation in England and Christian history here in England through the paintings that are in the gallery. So that's what I'm here for today.
Trafalgar Square blends Britain's naval history with modern art and culture. It remains an important public space, attracting millions of visitors each year to experience London's rich heritage and vibrant atmosphere. Chike Okolo, reporting for Souk News.
From Dubai to Lagos, Nigeria, and across the globe, Souk News TV is your #1 station focusing on business, economy, and development. With global digital reach, we connect Africa's pulse to the world stage. Welcome to Souk News Television, and here we go beyond the headlines. From breaking news, in-depth conversational programs, to market analysis and indices. From policies affecting growth to unique documentaries, from live event coverage to bespoke productions, we deliver content that connects you to the world. At Souk News Television, we provide news surrounding business, economy, and development, infomercials and jingles that stand out, short and long-form documentaries crafted to international standards, independent production spaces with full technical support, special coverage for individual and corporate events, a special form of documentaries through our prestige package, Immortals, where we tell your story the way you'd love it, and business support services tailored for small enterprises. Sook News TV, powered by FemWatch Limited, also home to the Isle 95.9 FM Lagos and Kasua 99.7 FM Kano, and Emirate News Television Abuja, together forming Africa's trusted media powerhouse. Storytelling, coverage, and connection that matters. Sook News TV, your home for business, economy, and development.
Welcome back. You're still watching the World News of Sook News Television. Now, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has announced that new measures to reduce child poverty will soon be unveiled, hinting at a potential reversal of the two-child limit on welfare payments. This policy currently restricts most parents from claiming benefits for more than 2 children. The possible removal of the cap is expected to be part of the government's budget announcement on November 26. The Institute for Fiscal Studies estimates that scrapping the two-child rule would cost the government about £3 billion annually. Starmer's move aims to address rising child poverty in the UK, which has become a growing concern. While the policy reversal would provide financial relief to larger families, it could also add significant pressure on public finances amid ongoing economic challenges. The European Union has reached a provisional deal to revise its agricultural subsidy system, easing environmental requirements to address mounting pressure from farmers. The agreement between EU member states and the European Parliament aims to simplify regulations and reduce paperwork, particularly for smaller-scale farmers. Under the new plan, the smaller-scale farmers will be exempt from meeting baseline environmental standards to qualify for subsidies. At the same time, the EU will raise the levels of payments available to these farmers seeking to support rural livelihoods amid rising costs and policy fatigue. Critics argue that the move weakens the EU's green agenda, especially after recent protests by farmers against regulatory burdens. Supporters say that it strikes a balance between environmental goals and economic realities in agriculture. The agreement still requires formal approval, but marks a shift in EU policy priorities ahead of the 2025 European Parliament elections. Now, Brazil's central bank has unveiled new regulations for virtual assets, including cryptocurrencies, marking a major step toward a safer and more transparent digital finance. The rules, effective February 2026, extend existing anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing measures to virtual asset service providers. By formalizing these requirements, Brazil aims to protect consumers and reduce the risk of scams and fraud in rapidly growing cryptocurrency sector. Under the new framework, all transactions involving virtual assets pegged to fiat currencies will be treated as foreign exchange operations. International payments and transfers using virtual assets will follow the same classification, ensuring compliance with financial oversight. Service providers will also face clear governance, security, and reporting obligations, safeguarding and strengthening market integrity and accountability. Officials highlighted the positive impact on Brazil's financial ecosystem, noting that stable coins and cryptocurrencies can now operate under safer, regulated conditions. Experts expect the regulations to encourage responsible adoption of digital assets, attract foreign investment, and support innovation, positioning Brazil as a forward-looking leader in Latin America's evolving cryptocurrency market. Now, United States President Donald Trump on Monday urged air traffic controllers to return to work as flight disruptions deepen across the country due to the ongoing government shutdown. The appeal follows a surge in flight delays and cancellations driven by staff shortages at major airports. Air traffic controllers working without pay are increasingly calling out due to financial pressure, some taking second jobs or unable to afford childcare. Their absence have created bottlenecks in the U.S. aviation system, affecting thousands of travelers. Trump's administration ordered reduced flight operations to manage the staffing shortfall, but the move has not stopped delays. The presidential call for controllers to return underscores the growing strain the shutdown is placing on critical services, even as political negotiations over government funding remain stalled in Washington, D.C. And in the world of sports, Super Eagles star Alex Iwobi has responded to backlash over a viral video that sparked criticism of the team's accommodation ahead of their World Cup qualifier against Gabon in Morocco. Iwobi clarified the footage did not show the official hotel used by the national team. The video, widely shared on social media, showed a modest-looking facility that many fans described as unfit, undignified, and below standard for a national team. Some likened it to a school hostel, prompting questions about players' welfare and the Nigerian Football Federation arrangement. However, subsequent findings confirmed that the building captured in Iwobi's video was not the actual hotel. The midfielder clarification aimed to calm tensions and reassure fans that the players are being treated appropriately. The Super Eagles are currently in camp preparing for Thursday's crucial clash with confidence high despite the earlier confusion over accommodation. And Nottingham Forest head coach Sean Dyche has commended Super Eagles striker Taiwo Awoniyi for his professionalism and dedication despite limited opportunities. This season, Dyche praised the forward's positive attitude and resilience as key traits that stand out at the club. Awoniyi has struggled for consistent minutes under previous managers Nuno Espirito Santo and Adne Postecoglou, but has remained focused in training. His persistence paid off on Sunday when he came on as a second-half substitute in Forest's 3-1 win over Leeds, marking the first Premier League victory since the opening day. Sunday's game was Awoniyi's fourth league appearance this season, and Dyche believes the striker's work ethic will soon earn him more chances. Fans have also lauded his contribution from off-bench, hoping that he becomes a more regular feature in the squad as the season progresses. Now that's a wrap on the news, but before we go, here's a quick recap of today's top stories. President Bola Tinubu says stabilizing power is crucial to advancing Nigeria's forward industrial growth, partners Siemens to add 4,000 megawatts to boost electricity supply. And the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control alerts Nigerians regarding beta clox ampicillin 250 milligram and cloxacillin 250 milligram, calls it a falsified pharmaceutical product. And tensions escalate between IMF and Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko's rejection of suggested debt restructuring plans. And British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announces new measures to reverse policy on parents from claiming benefits for more than 2 children. And in the world of sports, Super Eagles star Alex Iwobi responds to backlash over viral video that sparked criticism of team's accommodation ahead of their World Cup qualifier against Gabon in Morocco. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Sook News TV. I am Oyinpriye Krumale. Good afternoon to you.
Dubai to Lagos, Nigeria, and across the globe, Sook News TV is your #1 station focusing on business, economy, and development. With global digital reach, we connect Africa's pulse to the world stage. Welcome to Sook News Television, and here we go beyond the headlines, from breaking news, in-depth conversational programs, to market analysis and indices. From policies affecting growth to unique documentaries, from live event coverage to bespoke productions, we deliver content that connects you to the world. At Sook News Television, we provide news surrounding business, economy, and development, infomercials and jingles that stand out, short and long-form documentaries crafted to international standards, independent production spaces with full technical support, special coverage for individual and corporate events, a special form of documentaries through our prestige package, Immortals, where we tell your story the way you'd love it, and business support services tailored for small enterprises. Sook News TV, powered by FemWatch Limited, also home to the Isle 95.9 FM Lagos and Kasua 99.7 FM Kano, and Emirate News Television Abuja, together forming Africa's trusted media powerhouse. Storytelling, coverage, and connection that matters. Sook News TV, your home for business, economy, and development.
Thank you so much. I think the bill is a good one for Nigeria. And I think that the bill will be a catalyst for business to thrive in Nigeria. So my position and my perspective to the bill would be that it will be a very positive one for Nigeria going forward. If eventually the bill scales through the legislative processes and it have actually eventually become a law. So that would be my position. Thank you. Yeah, the bill will help business in different areas. Let me mention, for instance, the payee is part of cost for a business. It's part of staff cost. And for especially small businesses, which are the major backbone of the economy, the bill is proposing a reduction, that is proposing tax exemption for some category of lower staff cadre, which in essence is a cost reduction for businesses. So by that, it will help the business to thrive. Also, many people will come, by virtue of that, employ more people, which will bring a robust activity for the economy. And at the same time, there's some category of people that their tax will also be reduced compared to what is currently in operation. So it is a positive atmosphere for business. And when you look at it from the perspective of VAT too, you also see that there's going to be zero tax on some product. There's also going to be a tax exempt on some products, especially for masses, people, low income earner. So some certain products, they're going to be exemption. There's some certain product that's going to be zero tax rated. So by that, it will bring a more robust business activity. So by it, and then it will have positive effect on business and economy in general. Yeah, the argument is important. It's very, very important. But when you look at it, fix the small business, it will encourage more small business. And also, even the 50 million turnover is not a small thing for business, though it is still small relatively to the economic activity. Then, but it is a plus, right? And again, for business that their activity are more than 50 million, then it's good that they should pay tax and contribute little as company income tax to back to the economy. Now, if their taxes are used judiciously, they need to bring more infrastructure to the economy. Then there will be development in the country. Then we'll also be able to look at the advanced country. We envy them, we look at them that there are infrastructures in places, then these things are not cheap. They are not cheap. So, but the main focus for now is that is in a positive trend. It's a positive trend. I encourage that the bill should be passed and the implementation then should be followed so that it will bring a positive effect to the economic generally and the business will thrive going forward. Well, I don't see disadvantage, but I see challenge. Okay. Yeah, one of the things is that naturally, human beings were adverse to change. So if something is bringing a change, especially when you want to take us out of a comfort zone, we may not want to willingly agree with it. But for me, I think the positive and the benefits outweigh whatever probably challenge or the disadvantage we may envisage. So I still strongly believe that the bill is in the right direction for this year. Okay, I think from the angle of the value-added tax, what I would like to say in that area is that it will help the lower income earners because, like I mentioned earlier, that there's some products that's going to be zero rated, which means that there is not going to be tax VAT on them. There are some that are totally tax VAT exempted, so which means that these products, they are products that are commonly they are everybody really, but more of a masses low income earner will not with the VAT that will have been paid on it will have been an impact on them, then it's taking off. So I think from that perspective is also a good and a welcome one. And it compared to what was proposed before, a general increase in the VAT rate across board. So this one is narrow it down to a particular area. So wherein it also exempt or puts zero rated on some product that are commonly used by the masses. So it's a positive direction. It's a good one. Yeah, okay. One, from the tax perspective, one of the very good things about this bill is that it allows that you claim input fats. VAT is what you sell, what you buy. So the net effect of it is what you remit. Then this bill also helps to claim some expenses which currently is not in operation. So it's a positive one. Then again, you mentioned the increase in the VAT going forward. Well, let's appreciate that the increase is going to be gradual. That's one. Then two, let's also remember that the VAT, some of these products, they are not going to be with VAT again. That with common people like me and you, transport, there's not going to be VAT on it. Rent, no VAT on it. Food item, no VAT on it any longer. And many more. Health, no VAT on it any longer. So you can see that the VAT is going to be increased gradually, but it's not across board. So those basic that we know is every day is already been taken care of. So I think it should give it to the people that work on this bill. Okay, thank you so much for that angle and the question. I want to say that Federal Inland Revenue Services, they are really trying. And I can tell you, there's no system that doesn't have its own challenge. But FRS, they are trying. And they are moving from those days of Alanok. Now we have Task Promise. You can do your filing right from the comfort of your office. You don't need to visit their office, except there is a challenge. Right? So, they are doing well, but they are not yet at the best. So, and there is room for improvement. They are already deploying technology. So, what they need to do is to scale up and up to the task. But currently, they are doing well. So, they just need to improve. Well, it depends on the perspective you look at it. Is it shrinking? Yes, we have some companies that are no more within the soul of the Nigerian. So in that case, their taxes is no more coming to us. But again, look at other businesses that are springing forth. So definitely those are coming to the tax net. And then again, there are some companies that are not, businesses that are not in tax net. So through the use of technologies by FRS, they're already bringing them to tax net. So the tax net is increasing. So the net effect of it, you can say, is increasing. Though we have some that are leaving the soul of Nigeria. So net effect of it, the tax net is increasing. Because we have people businesses that are coming to Nigeria, and we have people that are businesses that are already in Nigeria, but they are not in tax net, but they are already bringing them to tax net. So it's like they are looking at perspective of increasing the threshold from 25 million to 50 million, as the case may be. Yeah. So are they saying that government should also still be taxing 25 million? Threshold? So we should applaud the bill that give opportunity for businesses that their threshold is less than 50 million, as the case may be. So, but from that angle, if you are looking at it that the business is shrinking, I don't see from that angle. I see from the angle of if the business is doing well and you are not to pay tax, rent, then your business is becoming robust, then you exceed the 50 million threshold. Then you also come back to the tax to be paid. So it's a way of giving boost to the business. And by the time the business is doing well beyond that threshold, then they'll be able to give back to the society. So it's a win-win situation. It's like giving a kind of relief to a business for them to thrive. And when they become better, doing well, then it's an encouragement to business, which they will also come to the net after that. So it's a good one. The chairman of the year. The chairman. Zaccheaus Ndedeji. Yes. How would you assess his performance so far? Yeah, I think Mr. Zaccheaus is a reformer. Yes. Looking at the step he has taken after assuming the office, and I also see that he's somebody that is listening. He has a close relationship with the former chairman of FRS. Probably he has learned some of things from him, challenges that he faced when he was there. So I think he's helping the current chairman. And if you look at the revenue they are getting, they are meeting up with the target. And at the same time, if you look at the staff, I don't see much of issues, challenges within them. So those are the indices that you can look at from the performance of a leader. Look at the staff that is leading, look at the target, the businesses also, are they fairly? So I think he's doing well, but he can do better.
Africa Development Studies Center, ADSC, we are committed to driving sustainable growth and development across Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission, empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change. With customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics, ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing, and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, monitoring, and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. Ready to make an impact? For more information, email us at info@adstudycenter.com or call +234 912 439 2362. Visit us today at www.adstudycenter.com to